Hi reception. So moving on from our starting to halve numbers of things yesterday, we've just got a few activities in your pack today that will help you practice that. Now your first activity looks like this, and it says the queen bee needs to share the bees out fairly so that each flower has half the number of bees from the hive. If you're not sure what a hive is, this is a hive. A beehive is a big yellow construction where the bees live inside. So the bees need to go to the flowers, but there needs to be exactly half of the number of bees on each flower. Can you draw the correct number of bees inside the flower to split them in half? Now you can, if you think you can do it just by putting one and figuring it out, then absolutely. But what you could also do is use your halving sheet, your halving map. So I'm going to count how many bees are in this hive. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know that I would need 4 cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these counters mean my bees. I've got 4 counters for the 4 bees that are in my beehive. And I've got to split them into 2 parts, or here, 2 flowers. So we need to split them in half. 1, 2, 2. I've split them into 2 parts or 2 flowers, and now I'm going to make sure they're equal. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes, I'm happy with that. So I can see that half of 4 is 2. So if I have 4 bees in my beehive, then I would need to draw 2 bees in this flower and 2 bees in this flower. Then I've equally split those bees in half between the 2 parts or the 2 flowers. Okay, so just finish those doing that the same way. Then you're doing exactly the same for this sheet. You've got, for example, some tennis balls here, and it says circle half of the tennis balls. You count the tennis balls, figure out how to put those into your halving mat, and then you're going to circle the correct number of tennis balls to show half. Now, one thing we haven't talked about is sometimes instead of writing the word half with our sounds, sometimes you'll see it written like this. A 1 and then a line and then a 2. Okay, now don't worry too much about what that really means. We'll learn that more in year 1 and 2. Okay, just know that if you see this symbol, that means half. Just like if you see this symbol, that means 1/4. You can remember which one's which, because this one means half because you're splitting them into 2 parts. And this one means quarter because you're splitting something into 4 parts, okay? So where it says circle half of the tennis balls, that is what this symbol here means. So you're going to complete those with your halving mat. Then as a challenge, you don't have to have a go at this if you find it a little bit tricky, but have a go if you'd like to. It's the same thing that says circle 1/4 of the flowers. So instead of splitting them into 2 equal parts, you'd need to split them into 4 equal parts. So instead of a halving mat, maybe you could have a go at making your own quartering mat, where you could have a big box at the top and then 4 arrows coming out of it with 4 parts at the bottom, and you could have a go at splitting your cubes into 4 parts. But as I said, that's just a challenge. Then finally, there's a little game for you, okay? You're going to cut all these flashcards out. You're going to match the numbers to their correct half. So for example, in this picture, I've got 1, 2 stars. I'm going to think about what half of 2 is. And again, you can use your halving mat if you need to. Half of 2. So 1, 2, 1, 1. Half of 2 is 1. Okay, so you'd need to find the flashcard that says half is 1, and that's here. That's nice and easy because we haven't cut them out yet. Okay, so just have a working through those activities. You don't have to complete it all because there is a lot there, but just give it your best try.